Hello, guys. My name's Angelisa. I wanted to speak about my dream that I had on January 11th. It was about a dream. First, it was a first dream about an invasion and capture the Church of Jesus Christ. So I had seen myself into this apartment. I went outside to the front. Um, Anyways, don't mind her hair. Okay, anyways. So I was in this apartment and I had went to the back door to go to the front area. So I had looked up in the sky and I had seen these four men and they were coming down from the sky from a parachute. I had rushed back into the house through the back door and I was rushing to get my little daughter, Trinity. I was trying to rush her to get ready. And as I'm telling her we need to get ready and get our stuff ready, um, then I had rushed into this room where my adopted mother was in with her boyfriend. And I was searching through their room. And then as I looked at both of them, they were asleep. They were disappearing and appearing multiple times. So as I was trying to look for this key for the for the car for this RV, because I guess that's what it was. I couldn't. Oh, excuse me, having a difficult time. So I couldn't find this key yet. So then these men were trying to go to the back door entrance. They're trying to come into this apartment, but they couldn't. It was locked. So they're trying their hardest to enter this apartment. With it looked like they were trying to padlock it, but they couldn't enter. And they had like a different language. It kind of reminded me like Chinese people speaking. Um, so I looked at my daughter and I'm like panicking. I'm trying to look for the keys. Then she had her jacket on, and I noticed that something was heavy in her jacket, so I went to go look. The keys were in there. So I'm like, oh, this is great. So then these men went to go to the front door, trying to do the same thing what they were trying to do in the back, trying to open the door, but they couldn't. So this was our way out to the back door while they were in the front. So we had escaped, and then we went to this RV type of thing, vehicle. It looked like those old fashioned, like it looks like it's all silver. It had like a front seat thing where you could drive. It was very old fashioned, so I had put my daughter in there and I told her to stay right there real quick because then I noticed that I forgot my dog in the house. So I went to go get my dog. And when I was going, I went to the back door where we came out of, locked the door, tried to call my dog's name. He came, and I'm trying to look for his leash, but for some reason I couldn't. So, like, he was following me anyways. Then these men went back to the back door trying to come in, but they couldn't. So I'm rushing to the front door with the dog. Then it's like, they found their way inside. So for some reason, well, actually, no, they haven't found their way in yet. So they kept going to the front to try to open it again. Like they kept trying and trying. So then I ran to the back door and I was panicking. And for some reason, it was like I was trying to go to the second floor and I had noticed a bag of bread. So I noticed there was a bag of bread and I'm grabbing the bread and I'm putting it in this bag one by one. And then I realized in my dream, why am I even picking up the bread and putting it in the bag? So I put it in the bag and I tied it. I left it right on the stairs. Then I'm like, why am I going upstairs? So I had rushed back to the back door. Then I escaped to the vehicle. Then my dog like disappeared. I got so upset. I was like, where'd he go? Like, where's my dog? Like, I was crying. So I know this was like a very random dream. Um, but I know that dream was about an invasion coming. I don't know if it had to do with China or something. It reminded me of that movie Har Harbor. I think it was, yeah, like where there's a lot of men come down in parachute and they're about to invade the whole city and stuff. It kind of remind me of that. And we're trying to escape, like they're trying to get the um us Christians, and we're just trying to focus and panicking, trying to escape from these people trying to capture us. So that was the first dream. Then the second dream I had, which was like signs and wonders in the sky and Jesus' appearance and the government trying to cover it up of Jesus' appearance. So it all started off of where I live at right now. Um, we was downstairs in the kitchen. My husband was cooking, and I went to go open the back door, and I had looked up outside. So I looked up in the sky. Sorry, I'm like having a hard time. Um, so I looked up in the sky, and I had noticed that there was two moons side by side, so one on this side and one on this side. Then right in between there was a sun, so one sun here, another sun over here. And then it reminded me of the picture that my husband had put up on YouTube, a confirmation. It reminded me of that where it showed the sun and then it looked like it was another sun, but he said that it was God's face shining in the cloud. But yeah, it reminded me of that. So I noticed these planets, and then there was extra ones in this side and this side. So all together it was like, so four moons. So one like this, another one like this, then right here, and then the two suns. Then out of nowhere, I had looked back and I was trying to tell my husband all the signs in the sky. Then I don't know where behind this planets there was a bigger moon behind it. It was humongous. It like it zoomed. So I'm like I was amazed of what I was seeing, and there was like a lot of things going on in the sky. Then I noticed that there was, it looked like a fiery ball coming out. And then it switched to that. Like it was like multiple ones. But first it was a big one and then it looked like it burst out little ones. Then the little ones turned into like it looked like dragons on fire. Like little ones. And then it like switched to birds. It kind of like remind me of like the Holy Spirit bird. Kind of looked like the dove, but it was like on fire. So it kind of remind me of like the Holy Spirit. So it was very weird. It was like scenes after scenes. So that happened. So then I went back inside and I'm telling my husband, you need to come look at this. Like the moon is humongous. And he was like, go give me a sign. Like he was in the middle of cooking. And I'm like, you need to see this before it's gone. And then he had looked and he was like amazed. Then I came back inside, closed the door. Then I noticed a knock from the back door, and it was my neighbor, which we call him Abuelo, grandfather, um, grandpa, you know. I don't know his actually name, so we just call him Abuelo. So I looked at him and he had this face where like he looked like he was frightened but not. And I'm telling him, "What's the matter? Are you okay?" And I'm trying to explain it to him because he speaks Spanish and I don't know how to speak Spanish as well. I mean, like that well. So but I understand what he was saying in Spanish. And I'm like, "Is everything okay? Are you okay? Like, did something happen?" So he grabs my hand, he pulled me outside, and like, we're in the middle of the big field because where I live, when you go outside in the back, it's a big field. So he's bringing me, he's telling me to come, so I go with him. Then we look straight ahead. There's like another of our neighbors in the side of their house. He's pointing at something there, and I'm looking everywhere like, what are you pointing at? Like, what's going on? Like, what's over there? And he's like, look, look, in Spanish. And I'm like, what? What is it? What is it? Like, I couldn't see it. And then he's like, oh, Dios. And I'm like, where? And then when I looked again, there was nothing there. But then when I looked again, it was like this man, but he was like in a teenage form. Like he was like bending down, like it looked like he was like picking out a flower or planting a flower or something. Then I kept looking, and then he looked back, and it looked like Jesus when he was like preaching at the synagogue. And he was like, what was his age? 12? Or, well, around that age. Yeah, so like he looked like that. And I'm thinking in my dream, like, what is he doing here? So then he was looking at me and Abuelo, and I'm just like amazed. I didn't know what to do. I was like frozen for what I was seeing because he was like perfect. Like, his skin color, his eyes was super green, like he had his little short hair, like he was just perfect. So I didn't know what to do. I was frozen. And then I noticed that he's walking towards us. Then Abuelo went to go walk to his house. He lives like 2 seconds away. So he's walking back to this house. Then I noticed that Jesus was coming towards me. And I'm just like I just knew it was Jesus. And then it was like, as he was coming, I didn't know what to do. So then he was coming closer, and then he stopped right near me, and he looked at me, and he like smiled, and then at that moment when he was smiling at me, it was like I had this like it looked like something came next to me, like a dark presence was coming next to me and trying to whisper things in my ear, like, oh, that's not Jesus who you're seeing. That's just probably one of those teenagers that is from school and they're dressing up like Jesus. And I'm just saying in my head in the dream, like, oh, you're lying because nowadays nobody likes Jesus. Nobody's gonna dress like Jesus in high school or whatever it is. So I knew what I was saying was real. So then that went away, that thought in my dream. Then I looked at him, he looked at me, and then he smiled, and then he kept walking, and then he turned back again, and he was like beautiful, and then he like disappeared. Then as that was happening, I kept looking up in the skies, and those signs were still there. Then I noticed there was this lady right in front of the middle of the field. She was facing this way. So like the projectors that way like this. And the signs are up there, not this way. So the projector is this side and the lady is right beside it. And I'm looking this way at the same time and I see like dramatic scene that was going on, like it came out like of a movie or something. And it was like a projector, and she was watching whatever it was. Like it was like she was trying to cover up what was going on right in front of me in the sky. Then there was another thought too, like then that came upon me again, those voices. Like, oh, what you're seeing is fake. It's just a projection, the projector doing those signs and stuff. It's fake, you know. And I'm saying in my head, no, it's not, because how can it be fake if it's right in front of me, and then the projector side is this side? So I knew that was like a lie. So, oh, thank you.
How's the dream?
Well, that's hot. So I knew what I was seeing was real. So I knew what I was seeing was real. I knew it was not no story.
Yeah.
So then, let me see if I can remember, because I felt like there was more to it that I can't remember. That's all I could remember, really, to be honest. So then, yeah, I woke up after that, and it just reminded me of like this year is gonna be the year where God's appearance is gonna show, and the government's gonna do whatever it can to distract the signs, you know, in the sky. So that like represent of like Jesus coming to get us, and the government's trying to cover up the signs and appearance that he shows us. Um, So yeah, that's what I had a dream about, and Jay Lisa over here is gonna explain her dream. I'm sorry if my dream is very confusing. It's confusing to me too as well. But I knew that I had to like share this, and if anybody like understands and would like to tell me, it would be nice. I wasn't very prepared for this, but I had to just share it. So Jaylee's gonna explain her dream because she had a dream the same day I did in January 11th.
Hi. Um, I'm kind of nervous, but it's okay. I had a dream about me, my brother, and my whole family. We was sleeping over at our neighbor's house in Wellow. He's kind of part of the family, so we were sleeping over there because I guess something was gonna happen to him. So we were sleeping. I had this cat. It was a black cat with a blue collar and blue eyes. And every time I got off my little bed that I was sleeping there, it would try to. It was like biting up my blanket, like basically telling me to go back to bed. And I was sleeping, and my brother came over here and saying, "Jay, wake up." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, Do you hear that?" I'm like, "Hear what?" He's like, "I hear a noise." I'm like, "I don't hear anything." So I go back to bed. And then the third time, he's like, "Jay, wake up." I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Do you hear it?" I hear him like, "I don't hear anything." So I go back to bed. Then he wakes me up again. He's like, "Jay, wake up." I'm like, "What?" Then he's like, "Do you hear it?" I'm like, "What?" I don't hear anything. So I go in the little hallway, and I look. There's three robbers, um, like in the living room, going in the hallway, doing the kitchen, and I went to Abuelo, and I guess like his bed broke, and he fell off, like he fell into the floor, and his legs was dangling in the kitchen, and the robbers. I was like worried, like, oh no, what are we gonna do? The robbers went to the kitchen, and I guess they cut his legs, and uh, the police was there, and like the robbers was disguised as this person, and he had this weird flashlight, and he gave it to the police lady, angry. Then he went behind me and stuck behind my head. Then the lady took the flashlight, and seeing that it was a like a LD light or something like that, and she went behind the guy's head and seen that he had like a code that said 686, and he was saying you should worry about your friend. And I go upstairs running to Awella's room, and I see that he got his legs cut off. And I was like crying and saying, "Oh no, are you okay?" And the lady, there's a lady there with him, and they were just telling me, don't worry, everything's gonna be okay." But I was just like crying, and I was like a little bit afraid because what happened to Awella. And that cat, the cat I had, I don't know, it was like I thought that cat was from the Lord because it just wouldn't stop following me. Like it would have like protect me wherever I went. And every time I got off my bed, it kept telling me to go back to sleep. I don't know what that meant, but yeah, that that was my dream. But yeah, so I think that dream was also talking about like an invasion as well, like how like my mom's like how they're gonna be coming in, just looking I guess with all this stuff that's happening right now in the world. And yeah.
So I had looked up in Hebrews what 686 meant, and the meaning to those numbers and meant to restrain, to hold back, and to stop, to withhold. That's what it meant. I don't know if I'm wrong or what. That's what I searched up. So yeah, these are our dreams, and I'm willing to hear what you guys think of, and we thank you for hearing our dreams. And we love you guys, and to keep staying focused on the Lord no matter what happens, and to have no fear because the Lord said that He didn't give us the spirit of fear, but the power of love and sound mind. So we need to have no fear and trust God, and He will protect us because He's our protector. And yeah, we love you guys, and we just hope we hear from you guys. Bye, guys.
Bye.